welcome back to Susan Dawn Spiritual Connections. Welcome to a brand new Sacred Union Energy Update. I do want to do an Ascension Energy Update. In fact, I had channeled a quick, brief personal share and Ascension update over the weekend that I will be sharing later this week with an Ascension reading. So make sure that you're staying tuned for that. I'm also planning on having a Sacred Union support reading for the membership. So if you join our Sacred membership at any of the 3 levels, you get all of the content, including meditations, transmissions, the workshops, and the support channelings and readings that we do. So I'm going to be doing a Sacred Union support reading there as well. We just had the Bridge of the Heart workshop and meditation. That was phenomenal. You can check out the highlights. I'll put that in the description box for you to check out, or you can purchase the replay package through our Ascension Connections portal. So this energy is interesting. There's a lot that seems like it's happening, or that seems like that's happening, and a lot of that is because of this eclipse season. And in last week's Ascension Accelerator group call, our first one, we talked about eclipse season. The next one is going to be next week. We're going to be talking about continuing into eclipse season, and I believe I'm going to make that free for everybody. My birthday is next week. As you guys know, I always like to do something special, so I think we're going to do a channeling and chat that's going to be available to everyone, not just those in the Sacred membership. We're going to do like a bonus that's going to be available for everyone. I'm still kind of working out the kinks on that, so stay tuned for the details as far as when that is going to be. But we're going to right now look into this full moon eclipse, this harvest full moon eclipse that we've got going on to kick off the eclipse season that ends in early October. And this eclipse energy is going to be all about momentum. That's what this really feels like. It feels like an amplified momentum. It feels like things are being put into place, but I'm actually hearing the sound of machinery. You know how when there's like machinery that's locking into place in order for it to work? That's what I'm hearing, and that's what it feels like. It feels like pieces being put into place. There's this forward movement that is happening. The daily energy draws, especially this week, is all about expect the unexpected. Let the towers fall, allow for a change to happen, go the path of least resistance. Make sure that you're checking out the daily energy draws for additional messages when it comes to this journey. And remember, your journey is not just about your Sacred Union, it's your Sacred Union Ascension journey. It's the Sacred Union path of ascension, and so it's important to stay abreast of the ascension energies as a whole, because those ascension energies are going to be impacting you as well, especially if you're resonating with our Sacred Union readings. The ascension updates and the daily energy draws and the messages there might also have key components for you and for your journey to help you navigate and guide your journey as well. So this week is all about expect the unexpected and let the towers fall. The towers create the breakthroughs. And I don't feel like it's going to be like huge towers. Well, it depends on where you are in your journey. I don't feel like it's going to be something that is completely like shaking you up. It just feels like things are locking into place. It just feels like there's an alignment that is happening. There's a movement, a momentum with that alignment. So let's get into the reading and just see what we can channel. I'm going to make this a quick reading just as a foundation for readings to come, foundation for deeper dives. I just want to kind of see where the energies are as we stand. You can check out the playlist. All of our readings piggyback off of each other, build upon each other. So make sure that you're checking out the playlist and past readings as well for the full picture and the whole context of our work and our teachings. Okay, let's see what's going on for the masculine. Acceptance. This, I'm hearing the word connection, and I'm feeling like this is, again, coming into alignment. I feel like this is two things, twofold. I'm getting, I think it's, who is it? It's not Da Vinci, Michelangelo? I can't remember. There's that artist of that painting of Adam and God, and Adam's reaching out and God's touching his finger. That's what this is reminiscent of. So connection to divine source, connection to higher power. I feel like the masculine is beginning to really connect and anchor in that connection within themselves, their spiritual connection, and honoring that spiritual connection, I'm actually getting like really beginning to see that spiritual connection, that there is not just about the physical, that there is a spiritual component. And even if this masculine had been spiritual, had been going through their own awakening, going through their own ascension. Ascension is a whole different ballgame, and this is a different level and layer of it. This is embodiment. So they might have had intellectual understandings of spirituality, but it's connecting fully within. And it's very much connecting fully to the body. So connecting to the faith, connecting to the peace, connecting to the love, connecting to that divine support. It's connection to God source, connection to higher power, connection to the universe, and really embodying that. It just feels like spiritual support, really feeling connected to God's source as one with them. It's a really interesting energy. This feels like a very stark change. Again, I feel like as much as the divine masculine might have been spiritual in the past or conscious in the past through their own spiritual awakenings, I feel like this is embodiment. This feels like really, really not just intellectually understanding it, but really integrating that feeling of connection with higher power. The other message that's coming through is, and they're pointing me to the 4 number, so I do feel like this is the foundation of movement to come. And when I say movement, I mean the embodiment. This is change. This is growth. This is expansion for this divine masculine. I feel like this is divine masculine and the divine feminine constantly connecting to one another energetically, reaching out to one another across space and time, reaching out to one another across the realms. That's what this feels like. It feels like connection. There's something, I'm hearing the words soul merge. So there's something here about a healing and a mending that is happening energetically. And even if you're not seeing it physically, there's a healing and a mending that is happening energetically because you are connecting energetically. We've been talking a lot about healing separation or bridging separation. What is separation? What is union? And redefining what union is. Union is not a destination, it's not a goal to reach. It is not something outside of ourselves. Union is not a relationship. The relationship is the expression of union, but union is not a relationship. Union is an energy that is held within the self. And when you're connected to that energy of union within the self, then you're connected or interconnected with everything around you, with all consciousness around you. That is union. And so it's the harmony, it's the balance. And connecting it to your sacred partner is the harmony, the balance, and the unconditional love. And I mean unconditional love. It's not unconditional tolerance, it's not unconditional acceptance. It is unconditional love. And when I say unconditional tolerance and unconditional acceptance, I mean you're not putting yourself on hold. You are not putting yourself in a waiting room. You're not expecting anything or needing or wanting anything or seeking anything externally. It is something that is experienced within. It is feeling at one, feeling whole, feeling connected within. And when it comes to your counterpart, you're not lacking anything. You feel that love, you feel that oneness no matter what the physical is showing you. You because you're connected energetically. This is a spiritual partnership, it is a spiritual connection first and foremost. And union is something that is energetically and spiritually connected, something that is energetically and spiritually felt first. So check out the Bridge of the Heart. It was a very powerful workshop and meditation. We had a great time, and we go deep into bridging that separation, really understanding what separation energy is, and bridging that to create breakthroughs for union and that inner union, which will then express itself in outer union. Because as you come into that inner union, you will embody it, and you will then experience that inner union with everything in your life. You will experience that union with money. You will experience that union with family, with friends. You will experience that union with your work. You will experience that union in your relationship. It is something that is experienced within first, and then it's expressed without, including with your counterpart. But it's experienced in that oneness within. So I feel like what's happening is there is this soul merge, this connection, and I feel like the masculine is at the beginning of that union within process. And the more that you both experience that, that's when you come together. Divine feminine leads energetically. The masculine will then have her light shining, be guided by her light, be guided by her example of that embodiment, and will then go through their process of ascension into that and experience that inner union. And then that will express itself in physical union. But that's what I feel like this feels like a very beginning of a new stage, beginning of a new process, and beginning of the process of that embodied union, that embodied connection with higher power, embodied connection with divine feminine, embodied connection with the self. It is all one and the same. All those aspects are one. And that's what union shows us. It shows us that we're not separate from God. It shows us that we're not separate from our counterpart. And it shows us that we are especially not separate from ourselves. It is all one, all of it. So I feel like the divine masculine is beginning that process and beginning that embodiment, beginning that awareness. Let's see what's going on for the divine feminine. Let's see what's going on for the divine feminine. There's a sense of freedom and liberation that's coming from, and I think that comes from a surrender. There's a relief that I feel like I was picking up on last reading or the mini reading. I can't remember. I'll put both links in the description box under the links of interest. But I feel like there's a sense of relief. Like I can put down my guard. I can allow myself to be who I am. I can release the masks. I can release the pressure I put on myself. I can release the unworthiness and the wounds and the pain and the trauma I was holding on to. I can release the burden. There's a sense of relief that is coming through for the divine masculine. There's a liberation. They're recognizing that there's love in liberation, or there's liberation in love. And that's what they have been so guarded against. That's what they have been in resistance to. But there's a liberation in love. What's going on for the divine feminine? What's going on for the divine feminine? It's too many cards. What's going on for the divine feminine? This eclipse season is going to be influencing this energy. Like I said, eclipse energy amplifies. It's going to be amplifying this energy, influencing this energy. What's going on for the divine feminine, please? I'm going to take this one that fell out. The void. I'm not feeling that so much. I feel like you might be coming out of a void. This might be called to rest. You might be asked to rest. You might be asked to slow down, but it doesn't feel like detachment. It doesn't feel like a void. What were the two cards that I got? Fruition and gratitude. Yeah, it doesn't feel like a void. It feels like actually there's a lot of abundance. It feels like there is a lot that is moving for you. So you might be called to just kind of slow down a little bit, be very present with all the action that's happening, to be very present with all the changes. Again, change being a very important message and theme that kept coming through in last week's daily energy draws and again in this week's daily energy draws. So it's not so much a void where you are in stillness, where you are in silence, where you are detached. Some of you might be feeling that, but I'm really not picking up on that energy. This feels more like maybe just slow down and be present with everything that is happening. Don't rush anything. Don't forward think or future think too much. Bring yourself back to present. Be very present in your life right now. That's what this feels like. Let's get right into the tarot and see if we can pick up a little bit more on this for the divine feminines especially. I'm gonna use this deck. I haven't used this in a while. This is the Mystic Mondays tarot. Okay. I'm gonna stick with the divine feminine for a second and see if we can get a little bit more of this energy for her. What is going on, especially with this eclipse energy? What's going on for the divine feminine? Yeah, you're on the brink of new beginnings, divine feminine. Oh, and there's the emperor. I'll get to that in a second. You're on the brink of new beginnings, divine feminine. There's a lot of change, but it's abundant change. And we channeled the message tomorrow. It's tomorrow's daily energy draw of expect the unexpected, and tomorrow's is let the towers fall, something like that. And so don't move into an energy of fear. Know that pieces are still rearranging themselves, and that's what eclipse season is all about. Anything that is not in alignment with you, especially in your physical world, anything that is not in alignment with these upgrades you've received, with this new level of yourself, this new frequency that you're at, this higher frequency that you're at, anything that's not in alignment with that is going to be shifting. And that's some of the rearranging, some of the pieces putting into place. So some of those old pieces might fall away so that new pieces can come in. They're bringing me to this. It's like pieces of a puzzle, right? As you are putting the puzzle together, you're realizing that actually this puzzle piece doesn't belong in this new picture. It doesn't belong at all. You're trying to force it into certain slots, but this puzzle piece belongs to an old puzzle. It's not this new puzzle that you've become. It's that kind of energy. So you're rearranging things. You're allowing yourself to say goodbye to that puzzle piece that belonged to a different picture, that belonged to a different puzzle, that belonged to a different version of yourself. And so what you're doing is you're calling in new puzzle pieces that are going to fit perfectly in that slot. That's all it is. It's just a rearrangement because it's a realignment of your physical world to reflect the new you, the new identity, the new version of yourself that you have become because you have leveled up from the inner work that you have done. The patterns that you shifted, the beliefs that you have recreated or rewritten, you have shifted in your energy. And so your physical world is naturally going to reflect that. So if we're still trying to force things into the slot of the old puzzle, or old puzzle pieces into the slot of the new puzzle, it's not going to work. It's just going to create resistance. It's going to get you frustrated. It's going to get you overwhelmed. It's going to get you angry, right? So we have to allow ourselves to surrender and say, okay, that puzzle piece belongs to an old puzzle, an old picture. It doesn't belong here anymore. So that's what this feels like. It feels like new beginnings. And so you're being called to just be very present with everything that you're experiencing right now. Now, there's two messages that's coming forth with the Emperor that comes out. You have the Six of Cups. I'm going to start with this. The first message is that for some of you, there will be a new beginning with either your counterpart, the person that you have known along this journey, or with somebody new that is embodying the masculine energy. And I'll refer you guys to the soulmate path reading that I did, and we are going to be having a workshop about the soulmate path. So we'll go deeper into what that means for your twin flame journey, your sacred union ascension journey. Make sure you leave a comment here in the comment boxes to let me know if you're interested in that workshop, and if you are, I'll put it ahead at the top of my list for workshops I want to do. And we'll schedule that. But let me know if that interests you. So for some of you, it's going to be, and you'll know what path you're on. You'll know what resonates for you. So for some of you, this is going to be the person that you've always been connected with, the physical person that you've always been connected with, your masculine. Who you were catalyzed to this journey with. There's going to be a new beginning. There's going to be some kind of reconciliation. And when I say the word reconciliation, I mean like a new beginning starting. And not repeating the same cycles because you're not the same person that you were. You're in a new energy, and so you're going to be having new patterns. You're going to be having new interactions, having new communication, right? You're in a new energy, and your new energy is what creates the new cycle. So be mindful of that as well. So this is going to be a masculine who is going to be coming back around in new cycle. Now you can determine whether or not to engage with that person. It's going to be, are they embodying that energy too? Are they reflecting your new energy? If they're not, if they're still in old energy, you don't have to engage in that. That is your choice. But the most important thing is that you are embodying new energy, that you are choosing differently, that you are maybe responding differently. You're breaking the patterns. You have broken the patterns. And so your energy is going to have an impact here on what is that cycle going to be. Okay? So that's one message for some of you. For others who are perhaps meeting, it could be a new counterpart, somebody who is embodying that twin flame energy, because twin flame is an energy. We associate it with a person, but it is an energy, and that energy can move through other people and even situations, as we've seen along our personal journeys, right? So this could be a new person. This could even be a new counterpart. This could be somebody that is like a soulmate, or it could just be somebody who is embodying the masculine energy. It could be a completely platonic person that is embodying that conscious masculine energy to reflect back to you your conscious divine feminine energy. And again, it could just be to show you, to teach you how far you have come. The soulmate path reading is going to really explain some of this. And again, we'll dive deeper in a workshop if you guys are interested. So, two scenarios. There is two scenarios there. There's a couple of ways that that could play out. Don't let that trigger you. Don't let that, make that yourself fear based. If you are fear based, especially with the second scenario, ask yourself why. Keep doing those deep dives. Keep exploring. What is it that's triggering you? What is it that's bringing up that anxiety? There might still be some attachment there. There might still be some consciousness loops going on where you still might be attached to the twin flame journey or the old version of the twin flame journey. Keep breaking free from that. And if you'd like to bring that to our group call next week, make sure that you are joining us for that, because in the group calls, especially in our sacred membership, we're going to have again a free preview of that with a free call. But in our Ascension Accelerator Plus sacred membership, we have bi-monthly group calls. So twice a month, we will do some channeling, we'll do some chatting, and you guys have an opportunity to bring up specific questions or specific scenarios for some coaching within that group call. It's an amazing experience. It's a way to support each other and give each other encouragement and build that community within that environment, because this journey can be tough. It can really be tough. And you're not alone in it. We've been here. We've been experiencing this together, and so it's a way for us to build that community together. Okay, so the other message that I was getting is, aside from a counterpart energy, is that this is your own inner masculine that is anchoring in, integrating, and grounding within you. So as these changes are coming about, as there might be some tower moments, expect the unexpected, right? This is you being so fully anchored and grounded. A lot of root chakra activations here. So fully grounded and rooted in your masculine energy that you've created that wholeness. You've created that container for yourself. You've expanded in that container for yourself. So you're showing up for yourself. Where tower moments might have really triggered you or shaken you up in the past, you're able to hold that space for yourself. You're not seeking your external masculine or anybody else to hold that space or to fix it or to heal it or to bring that stability or security for you. You're doing that within yourself. You have expanded in your capacity. You have healed your inner masculine. So this is anchoring that in, grounding that, and embodying that. Now, that's not to say that we don't turn to other people for help and support. Of course, we are all in this together. We are meant to help and support each other. That is the beauty of community. That is the beauty of being in this world together. However, you're not seeking externally for that. You're not chasing after that. You know and recognize that you are fully capable of transmuting any energy or holding space for yourself, or giving yourself that stability and giving yourself that security. So with the Emperor here, this feels very rooted, this feels very grounded, and this feels very anchored in, where you're giving yourself that presence. Again, coming back to the being present, you're giving yourself that presence. You're giving yourself that security. You're giving yourself that stability. You're finding that within yourself. You're healing that within yourself. Where before you might have sought externally in others, because you perhaps didn't trust it in within yourself. Now you're trusting it within yourself. And from that place, you can seek support. From that place, you can seek community. From that place, you can seek other people coming in to help you. But you are not the victim. That's what this is. You're healing that victim consciousness. You are not the victim so that you are seeking externally. You have found that within yourself, and you're anchoring that in within yourself. Anything else we need to know for the Divine Feminine? Gosh. All right, anything else we need to know for the Divine Feminine? Nine of Cups, yeah. Expect the unexpected. Let the towers fall, because from the destruction comes the creation. And so if the tower is falling, You've got this. Your inner masculine has got this. You have an ability to transmute. You have an ability to hold that space for yourself. You have an ability to, a capacity to not only cope, but to thrive through obstacles, through challenges, through struggles, and come out the other side knowing that there's another side, knowing that you're not stuck in that same place forever. You're not going to be stuck in a void. You're not going to be stuck in those situations. You're not going to be stuck. You now have the ability within yourself to, I'm hearing a balance between your masculine and your feminine. Your masculine is giving you that ability to hold space for yourself. Your inner masculine allows you to hold that space for yourself. You have the capacity. You've expanded in your container, so you can, your nervous system is anchored in and grounded, and you're able to take care of yourself in the physical, while your feminine energy is able to see the bigger picture, that where you are is not all there is. Where you not are is not the only place that you're going to be. You're going to move beyond it. And so you can see the bigger picture, that even though you might be going through a little bit of destruction, which your ego mind might say, oh my God, it's doom and gloom, but your soul says, we've got this. Your inner masculine says, we've got this. Let's just take the next step. Let's just go where we're guided, move through it one step at a time. We've got this. It's not going to be like this forever. This is just a realignment. Your feminine intuition is saying this is just realignment. You know that it's just realignment, because there is always a new creation on the other side of any towers, on the other side of any triggers, on the other side of any challenges, obstacles, of any struggle, of any destruction. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. Let's see what's going on for the Divine Masculine. Let's go back to the Divine Masculine, please. 9 of Wands. Yeah. Remember when I said something about they were carrying a burden? They're recognizing that they don't have to carry that anymore. They don't have to carry their unworthiness. They don't have to carry those masks or wear those masks anymore. They're connecting fully to themselves. And this is a reflection energy, looking back and seeing how many battles they fought. And also I'm hearing, realizing that they were really just battling themselves. Where they were in resistance, this is why there's a sigh of relief that's coming in. They were in resistance. Again, the 6 of Cups on the bottom of the deck, they were in resistance to this connection that they know is a soul connection too. They were in resistance to themselves. They were in resistance to God. They were in resistance to their own expansion, their own growth, their own ascension. And they're realizing they almost feel very foolish. It feels like there's an acknowledgement of, I've been a fool. They're realizing that they've only been in resistance to themselves, and that even though they might have been defensive against other people, they might have been fighting other people, they might have been fighting you. And when I say fighting, I mean just kind of giving pushback. There might have been actual arguments and stuff like that, but it's an energetic fighting. It's like resistance, pushback, pushing away, that kind of thing. That was only their own ego. That was only their own fears, only their own resistance. And they're realizing they were only fighting themselves. And it feels very like foolish. That's the word that I just keep getting. Like, I was a fool. I was a fool. So they're looking back at their life, at all the battles that they've fought, and they realize, what was it worth? What was it worth? I was just fighting myself. I was just resisting myself. I was just resisting this beautiful liberation of love. Very different energy coming through from the masculine now. Very different energy. Yeah, the Knight of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. I was just fighting myself. And with the Knight of Pentacles, it's a recognition of, I don't want to fight myself anymore, and taking a new direction, taking a new path, taking a new path towards love. And again, this is not just love, romantic love. This is just opening up to love as a whole. Love as the energy of the universe. Love as the energy of God. Love as the energy of this unconditional connection, this soul connection, this spiritual connection. Love as just an overall energy, love of self. So with the Knight of Pentacles, I feel like it's almost like I'm hearing giving themselves this gift of surrender, this gift of love, this gift of giving, of opening up themselves to love again. And again, understand, put this in the context of our teachings. The readings that we do here, the channelings that we do, is not just in the 3D, in the physical world, about romantic relationships. That's not what we do here. That's not what we teach. I'd like it to be, but unfortunately, that's not ever how I've channeled. This is about the energy that is being held, and how that expresses itself, how that shows itself in the 3D is going to be very different for everybody. But it's the energy of love overall, the energy of connection overall. And so that's what I'm feeling. It's giving themselves the gift of recognizing that love. Um, there's also an energy of patience. I'm hearing being patient with oneself through this process, because I feel like what they're doing and what they have been doing over the past couple of weeks is a lot of self reflection, working through some shame. Again, feeling like a fool, that kind of energy. There's shame there. So, working through some shame, perhaps even working through some guilt, being very present with themselves, mirroring you, being very present with themselves and being very patient with this process. What they're doing, essentially, what they're showing me is they are emptying themselves of the cup that they had filled on self loathing, on unworthiness, on insecurities and criticism and judgment and victimhood. They had filled that cup up on all of these negative energies, these negative frequencies, these negative memories and traumas that they might have experienced throughout their life. Other people saying, you're not this or you're not that, putting that in the cup and holding on to that cup and drinking from that cup. Well, what's happening through this process is they are emptying that cup and filling up on love. And a lot of these masculines, divine feminines, are hearing your voice in their heads, metaphorically. They're feeling your energy, things that you've said, actions that you've done. They're filling their cup on that, because on a soul level, they know that has been unconditional love. You have been unconditionally loving. And so they're filling up on the new. They're emptying out the cup of all the old toxic energies that they had fed themselves on, because they felt unworthy, because they felt insecure, because they were in that victim consciousness. So they were repeating those loops and repeating those cycles. It took you, divine feminine, to break that, to break your patterns, to embody new energy of you for them to follow. And they're filling up on new cups of love now. Very interesting. 6 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, balancing the energies out within themselves. Ace of Swords, and there's the Tower. Yep. But after the Tower, there's the Sun as well, and the 8 of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. Okay, so with the Ace of Swords, this is clarity. This is truth. This is seeing things as they really are versus what they believed it to be. Seeing themselves as they really are versus the pain and the battles of the past. Seeing themselves more clearly, which is love, and filling themselves up on love versus any of those toxic energies or traits that they had believed themselves to be, those judgments that they had believed in, those criticisms that they had believed in. It's taken a lot for them to get out of this victim consciousness. The Tower, the Sun, the 8 of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands. This is a progression. So this Tower moment has to come. The Tower moment could be something that's happening physically, or could be something that's happening internally. The Tower moment internally, for example, could be a revelation. It could be a breaking down of the ego, a dissolving of the ego. It could be a breaking down of the patterns of the past. Again, they're in a very reflective mode right now. So it could be an internal Tower that's having them look back and say, what the hell was I doing? I was just feeding this toxic energy. I was just feeding this old energy. So again, there's still some shame there. There's still some guilt there that they're working through clearing. But what's on the other side of the Tower is the Sun. It is the breakthrough. It is the creation. They're working very hard on this. They're very focused on this. And that is what's going to move them forward, to propel them into action. Action for their physical lives, action for connection, connecting to themselves, connecting to God, connecting to you in new ways, divine feminine. So this is a progression. They are going to be very self-focused at the time, because they are like building themselves back up, building that new foundation. And that's what the Tower represents. The Tower represents a faulty foundation. It's an old version that never had stable footing, because it wasn't anchored into the soul. The more you anchor into your connection to the soul, the more there is a firm foundation that is unshakable. And that's what creates that unshakable union within the self. Unshakable union within the self. So, divine feminines, you can apply this to your inner masculine as well. Some of that safety and security that you've discovered within yourself, that inner union of your masculine and your feminine within yourself. This might be a process that you've been going through within your inner masculine, but the masculine energy overall is what is experiencing this here. So it could be your counterpart, it could be your inner masculine, it could be both. It could be what is happening on a global landscape, because as within, so without. As we're experiencing this in our individual journeys, we're also experiencing this in our global ascension. So there is a huge shift that is happening. The eclipse season is amplifying this, and we'll continue to check in on this and just see how the process is progressing. But ascension is a process and it takes patience. So don't be so quick to get to the end result. There is no end result, right? It's all within. And when you really truly anchor into that union within, you're not even going to need anything without. I can guarantee that because I've experienced that. You are not needing anything without. It is literally all within you. But that is where you create your human experience. You create that from within. Your outer experience is just a reflection. And your ascension journey teaches you that rather than chasing the outer experience, rather than seeking the external, especially with our counterparts, it's like that counterpart connection has been the dangling carrot, right? The dangling carrot, but we have to turn inwards and realize that it's our growth, it is our expansion, it is our inner union that creates everything externally. And you begin to see the changes in your external world as you shift and change within. So, if you're interested in learning more about that, I really recommend the Bridge of the Heart workshop replay. There's a bunch of channelings, transmissions, and readings that are part of that package. And again, let me know if you're interested in the Soulmate Path workshop, and we'll jump that to the front of the line here as well. And make sure that you are joining us next week for our birthday bonus. It's going to be a free Ascension Accelerator Plus channeling and chat, and I'll have more details on that to come. All right, sending you lots of love and lots of light, and we will see you later this week.